day today. Wales is open, so we're going out to take some photos. Baby drone. So here we are, we have landed in the Brecon Beacons. There's two things I want to get out of this trip. The first is I want to get a big shot that I can print so I can test out my A2 printer. And the other thing is I want to share with you guys some tips for shooting landscapes specifically for Instagram. Shooting for print and shooting for Instagram are two very different things. When I'm shooting for Instagram, I tend to be trying to get simple shots, things that look high impact in a thumbnail. I'm looking for story, what stories can I tell? Whereas when I'm looking for getting prints, I'm looking to get big landscape, something that looks good at a distance and something that I'll shoot quite high resolution. So anyway, let's get high. So as you can see, it's starting to get interesting. So this is tip number one, is get your camera out. A key thing for Instagram that's different to shooting for prints and stuff is you want to capture everything, because you're going to want them for stories, you're going to want them, you know, maybe some B-roll, some carousels, that sort of thing. So see, so got that there, ready to use as soon as something happens. 35's great because, you know, that's the focal length that tells the most stories in my opinion. You know, shots like that, they might seem a little dull, but you know, you put them all together, they tell a story. And you never know, even the really dull shots, they're quite good for putting text over and those sorts of things, you know. Kind of sounds a little bit silly, but these are all the things that are quite important for Instagram. So tip number two is to be dramatic. You want to grab them in that little thumbnail. You want something that's going to hook them in, and a little person. And I just saw some people up on the peak there, so I stopped through on the 70 to 200 just so I could get up close and grab that sort of high contrast minimalist kind of shot that's going to stop people on the timeline and maybe get them to tap on your thumbnail, that sort of thing. A little different to print. You know, in print you're going to spend ages looking at the shot, whereas, you know, like we've already talked about on Instagram, people don't spend that long. They want something that's going to grab them, something that they can kind of, you know, feel emotional about. Tip number three, another really important thing, is kind of keep it simple. Don't complicate it, and that kind of goes for everything really. Just keep it simple. Look at what it is that you want to shoot and look at why you want to shoot it that way. Again, 70 to 200. I'm just shooting down here towards this guy. Bit of light, bit of foreground here, and a nice sort of simple minimal shot. It's a really simple little trick. If you've got no foreground, like for example, I really like the look of this, but there's no foreground, there's nothing to make it interesting. So all I'm doing, I'm going to bury my camera into the grass here and get that out of focus. Do this all the time. Just creates quite an interesting shot. And if you can, try and get it to lead. If you see this kind of rotates up round, leads into the line coming up there. It's subtle, but it does complete it. Let me know if you agree with that. I wonder if that's bringing some weather or not. It's been kind of pretending. If that's the weather coming in, then maybe it's time to start heading back. But before we do, I just want to talk about one last little thing that I like to do in my Instagram photos that I don't do when I'm shooting for like a print or a portfolio shot or something like that. I like to put my feet in the photo, or I like to put myself in the photo. I think it adds just a little bit more emotion, it adds a bit more story, and I think that that's really important on social media. I think that you're really trying to show people what it's like to be there, but I think that's just something that just makes the photo tell more of a story. That's just halfway. I got to head back now, so this is going to be 9 kilometers back. I don't know, this is going to be 900 calories back. It's probably more like 5 kilometers back, so it's not too bad. Some uphills, but anyway, let's get back to the car. 1400 calories. Give us a like for those 1400 calories. That was a long way. I've not done that distance in a good while. But thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I've got a couple more just like this one. I'll put those on the screen right now, particularly the Snowdonia one. If you like this, you'll probably like that. So yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, hit subscribe. And if you do, I will see you in the next video. Thanks very much.